Alright, the Hydra Light runs on water. Nowhere, no batteries needed. Nowhere does this say it's an emergency light. Okay. Interesting note on the back. It's telling you up to 100 hours on a single water dip. And then it says fuel cell can provide up to 300 plus total hours of light, multiple dips. When I do math, that would tell me it's a 3-use light. But, you know, in this time and day, math is not something you go by because, you know, it's just how I feel. I feel like this will last forever, even though it's implying it will only last 3 charges. Okay, so we will take this to the sink. Okay, so you open this up, take out the cell. Obviously, that's the side that goes down. You see metal, metal. No. All right, so you're supposed to take this and submerge it in the water for 10 to 12 seconds. You are submersed. And I'll watch the clock. And I forget what it was at when I started. I don't know, was that 10 to 12 seconds? Something. I think that was it. I don't know. All right, so then after you take it out, you're supposed to shake it. Shake it like hell, it says. I assume that's to get the water out. But, you know, people don't know what they're doing. Shake it like hell, it says. I'm trying to get the water out so it's not wet. All right. And I'm just going to dry it. Oh, look at this. I'm just going to dry the outer shell because I know you don't need it. Hey, look at them there. And this side down. Okay. And it's lit. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave this on. So you light this up. That makes it into a lamp. The light brightens off all these reflective stuff up there. It makes it a lamp for a room. Now this light is not bright. As you see, it does not light this room up well, but if you have no power in emergency, this thing will be perfect. So I'm going to just leave this on until it stops working. Okay, so a day, 1.5 days later, I just left this on in the room. 24 hours, it was still lit, perfectly lit. Maybe, let's see, 7, 8 hours into the next day, I noticed the light was a little dim. Where before it was super bright, it was a little dim, so I turned it off and then went to turn it back on and it would not turn back on. All right, so I'm gonna do this 3-4 times and see if it keeps working. If it doesn't, after 3 uses, I'm just going to return it. Because it doesn't say emergency on there. It doesn't say uses. I mean, you think you would warn somebody not to play with it 3 times and just wait for an emergency? Otherwise, it's a nice toy. I already recharged it, so we're going to start another cycle and see what happens. Now, note, 24 hours plus 7, 6, that's only 30 hours. So it did not stay lit for 100. No, it did not. Maybe soaking it more would have done it. I don't know. I see how these are holes in here. Probably to let it breathe. Supposedly it uses magnesium or something, which reacts with the water. I mean, it's going to be limited use. But we will see. If it doesn't last, I'll just return it because it doesn't say anywhere on there not to do what I'm doing. Alrighty then. Otherwise, pretty cool, I guess. But then again, you can just, with LEDs, you can just charge with solar power. You can charge batteries and have a LED that's going to be 300 lumens or more, which is extremely bright. Extremely bright. 500 lumens. My 3.7 volt batteries, I can charge those on solar power easily. And those things are bright as hell. I can throw a beam across my neighborhood onto someone's house. I can light up the top of a tree with the thing focused. This thing is pretty much a gimmick. But, I mean, if I rip this off and put my 3.7 18650 light on there and brightened up there, that would light up the room like crazy. And actually it would fit through that hole. I could just break this top off. But there you go.
Okay, so the follow-up is I did this for, I kept it lit for, I think, 4 days I did it. 4 days I did it. What I'm guessing is going on, it's this cell will last for 300 hours. 4 days is only 120 hours. Well, no, it wasn't 4 days. It stayed lit for like 30 hours. So 4 times I did it. So it's got like 180 left in it, as you notice. I also noticed one thing. When I left it for 30 hours, then I would turn it off and then try to turn it back on. It wouldn't come back on. But if I turned it off and left it off, after a little while, it would be able to turn itself back on. Not as bright, but it worked. But as you see here, after these couple of days of doing it, pieces are starting to come off of this thing. Because it's starting to deteriorate inside. I think this is magnesium or something. I don't know. Stuff is starting to come off. So this thing might work with water, but once you dunk it in that water, you don't want to drink that water because all this crap is going, all these chemicals are going in the water. So anyway, 300 use. I mean, it's a great idea for if it was the 80s or something. But like I said before, solar power, LED, and you'll get something, you know, like this. You'll be able to charge this battery, 18650, with this light, which, and you know, that's crazy. So, well, all right. I just thought of where this is actually damn useful. If you dive in caves and you have no sunlight, that's about it. That's about it. Because anywhere else, sun, you'll be able to use solar power to charge one of these batteries pretty quickly. And these are much more better. A Cree LED. So anyway, and no, I don't know where to buy these. No clue. And that sums that up. Like I said, it's a good idea, but real flashlights. This is my junk one. Here. There you go. Same thing. This is actually way brighter than that one. And you can zoom it. These I use everywhere with the 18650. I have these in every single car, every single coat, in basement, upstairs, everywhere. These lights are the greatest stuff since whatever's. Alright, so anyway, that's it. The Hydra Light. I would not pay more than $8 for this. That's what I got it on for clearance. Just as a gimmick to play with it, but it is so useless. It's so bulky. I mean, look at this. This light with an 18650, it just fits right in there. I mean, it's smaller than this thing. This is just a waste of time. I mean, maybe this feature where you can lift it up and light up the whole room is cool. But then again, if I just light this up and point it to the ceiling, it's actually going to light the whole room. Where this is just going to, you know, give you like a candle light, which is useless. But then again, this light will stay on, like we said, 30 hours, where this thing will stay on for maybe about 3 hours. I usually still work on cars, and it usually, all right, I'm exaggerating. But then again, I'm using old laptop batteries in there, so it'll last for maybe like 2 hours. All right, so anyway, that's it. Buy one if you want it. They're cool. That's about it. And they start leaving all this junk all over. And then when this thing is shot, you can just take one of these and stick it up in there, and then you can use this to light the whole room, like I was saying. Or maybe you could put some Siamese fighting fish in there. Yeah, I got ideas. Yep. All right, that's it.